Tak naik lagi. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's forum. My name is Mohamad ZAKWAN Arif bin Muhammad TAJUDDIN as moderator and one of the panels today. Today we would like to discuss our forum, which is the title is Should or Should Not Robot Replace Human Labor? So before we start, I would like to introduce our panel for this forum. Our first panel is Mr. LUTFIL HADI bin SHAIFUL ANWAR. Second, our panel is Miss NADHIRAH binti ASMAWI. And the third panel is NURUL IZZAH binti Mohamad SANDUSI. Our next panel is NOORYASMEEN NAZIRA binti Mat RAMLI. And our last panel is Mohamad Azan bin Amit. Many jobs have become easier by being replaced by robots. Robots are not just the idea of taking mechanical parts, as we see in a futuristic movie. There are variety of different types of robotic machines. Great majority of them appear in factories and in science technology work field. However, they have been different perspective which robot replacing jobs. As technology and robotic progress, people continue to debate on how jobs and careers could be affected. Due to this issue, there are some concerns regarding jobs and wage. So, Mr. Nick, do you have any point of view regarding this?
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum everyone. Firstly, I would like to say thank you to our moderator, Mr. ZAKWAN Arif, for the opportunity to share my thoughts on our forum discussion topic, which is should or should not robot replace human labor. So, in my opinion, I would say that robots should not replace human labor because robots are most likely to affect routine manual occupation and lower and middle class workers. Moreover, um, improvement in technology adversely affect wages and employment through the displacement effect. Last but not least, robot negatively affect workers at all education levels, though workers without a college degree were impacted far more than those with a college degree or more.
So, Ms. Nat, how about you? Do you have any point of this?
So I do not agree with Mr. Lutfi because in my point of view, robot will not take those job away, but it will make it easy for the workers as there will not be have to do repetitious job and dangerous tasks. Workers will be there for maintain and develop more robots in the future. So at the same time, higher wages will be paid to the workers for the development of the robot in the future. So that's all for me.
So for this forum, I have some point from me. In my opinions, robots should not replace human labor because when the robot replace the jobs, human will lose their job. This is because when robot become as much as capable as human beings, there will be nothing left for human to do their job in the employment. For my next opinion is they can become no capitalism in her right mind will continue to employ human. It is because they are expensive and they always complain whenever something change. Last but not least, when the point human will lose their job, it is because they spend half of their work time to gossiping than the robots. So they have to change their mind to fight with the robots to take the job. Lastly, robots should not replace human labor because human will lose their job. It is because intelligent robot will be able to manufacture materials good and service cheaply than human, then that can cause human lose in their job.
Sorry to interrupt, but just now you said human will lose their job. Let me clear this thing. Actually, human would not lose their job since robot are not used in all sector. Although many factories or company use robots to accomplish duties that demand more energy than humans can do. Second, a robot simply change the existing job. So robot need people to monitor and supervision. So when many companies that use robot, automatically many workers that are needed to create the robot. So when employee working with robot, it can make tasks completed faster and they will more motivate to do their work.
I agree with Ms. Izzah's point, and I also would like to point out that robots can create new jobs in the future as more specific field or sector would be discovered. Yes, jobs like customer support executive and cashier will be replaced by AI chatbots and self-checkout kiosks, and they will lose their job. However, many would be certainly be employed to fix, to build, to run the robots. And I believe that in the future, over the next few decades, the real new source of new employments will be the one that we hardly can imagine right now.
As Mr. Azan says, robot will create new jobs. So, Ms. Yasmin, do you believe that the robots are able to replace human labor in all sectors?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for giving me the opportunity on giving my opinion about it. Assalamualaikum, everyone, and a very good morning. I'm glad to have the opportunity to be one of the panels of this forum today. In light of today's topic, I would like to say that robots should not replace human labor. And this is because robots are not smart enough to do creative work. Okay, firstly, is because each demonstration of the creative prowess of AI relies on new advances in the field of machine learning, which allows computer programs to compute things in a manner of similar to the human brain. So the key, however, to machines' lack of true creativity lies in the word compute. Clearly, humans are different than computers in their current incarnation. No computer has yet achieved consciousness, and according to Searle, no computer of the current form will. John Searle, an American philosopher, primarily utilizes his Chinese room thought experiment to argue about this point. In it, he describes a scenario where an individual having no knowledge of Chinese sits in a room with a rule book. So it appears as the machine has a true knowledge of Chinese. So as we know, however, this is not the case. The same principle can be extended to all current forms of artificial intelligence. They may manipulate symbols in a clever way, but they are actually not conscious. Besides that, human brains have the remarkable ability to generate ideas in a true creative fashion, which this conscious integrated circuit does not. A neuroscientist, Henning Beck, describes the remarkable characteristics of the brain that allow us to spontaneously generate thought, which shows that brains are imperfect, non-deterministic, and partially analog. So these characteristics allow us to represent things as concepts rather than just pure data. When we think about some object, we're not recalling the actual object itself, but rather a conceptual idea of what the object is. So I think that is all for me. Thank you.
Pardon me, I disagree with your point. I believe that robots also can do creative work. The capability of robots can be enhanced, and it can significantly be improved with the increasing sophistication of artificial intelligence through the algorithm development. There are various kinds of algorithms that can be programmed in the robots that allow them to mimic the human behavior and abilities, as well as to be able to do tasks that human cannot simply do. And the current example that I would like to share is Google, which is said to be a sentient being. That means that the Lambda has human like feelings and rational thoughts. Therefore, I believe that it is not impossible for robots to do creative jobs.
So I agree with Mr. Azan that robots should replace human labor as effectiveness and efficiency of the task could be increased because a robot can perform a task without human monitoring. And also robot can produce task error-free unlike human that tend to make mistakes when they are tired. So in addition, robot can work automatically 34 hours per day non-stop and therefore also, robot can do repetitive tasks faster than human. Therefore, robots are more rapid, reliable, and accurate. So, I will strongly believe that human labor should be replaced with robots because effectiveness and efficiency of the company could be increased. So that's all for me.
Sorry for interrupt you, Ms. Nadhira, but I am strongly disagree with you and Mr. Azan's point. In my perception, a robot should not replace human labor because it increase company expenditure. Industrialists need to spend a lot of money to buy a robot with high efficiency, effectiveness, but not without their maintenance. Imagine that the industrial sector needs more than 100 robots with high efficiency and effectiveness to buy. In my last word, with the current economic situation, not every industry could afford that cost. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
So we have talked about the cost and effectiveness. Ms. Izzah, perhaps do you have some points on the productivity?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. In my opinion, I would say that robots should replace human labor. This is because robots help to improve productivity. According to some researchers, such as Brown and Dev, productivity has been a crucial factor to decrease cost of production and increasing demand by providing more services. So robot will help to speed up production process, and at the same time, it can help to eliminate errors that occur during that process. So it will help to decrease the cost of production and improve productivity. Next, many companies do not emphasize the productivity of a product. I agree that productivity is not everything, but in the long run time, it is almost everything. This means that there are many benefits of robot application in business because robot will improve more productivity of quality and safety when performing simple and complex construction tasks. And the last one, according to drug trailers, the largest manufacturer for trailers that is based in Australia was successful in up their productivity as a result of robotic automation. In other words, productivity is when utilization, efficiency, effectiveness, quality, and other performance dimensions are considered. Moreover, the robotic loader could reduce the number of shipments by increasing utilization of trailers.
Okay, that was a good point from you, Miss Izzah, but I would like to disagree with your point of view, as robots can improve the productivity of an organization by lowering the cost of production and increasing demand by providing more services. But at the end of the day, it actually leads to these robots in producing low quality products. In addition to that, automated restaurants that use robotics applications have encountered several issues regarding the quality of the food that is prepared. Besides that, and because of that, some have reported that there are serious issues that have arisen at a fine dining restaurant somewhere in Singapore, where the customers were complaining about the inconsistent taste in their dish that is prepared by robots.
Just now, Miss Yasmin and Miss Izzah have talked about productivity of quality and safety. So, Mr. Azan, what is your take point on workplace safety? Do you agree with that?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. And I believe that robots can improve workplace safety. Replacing human workers with robots in hazardous operation can lead to improvement in the workplace safety. For example, if the robots replace human workers in poultry processing facilities, the high incidence of musculoskeletal disorder and traumatic injuries can be reduced. Plus, the robots can be deployed to respond to the disaster site. For example, like nuclear disaster site, which eliminate the human workers' exposure from the radiation. Furthermore, collaborative robots or cobots strive to combine dexterity, flexibility, problem-solving skills of human workers with the strength, endurance, and precision of mechanical robots. In 2007, a system called Safety Eye was launched. A robot equipped with a such system has self-awareness. It can move around freely, but it also can slow down its movement whenever the human workers approach it or it getting too close to the human workers. This can avoid the harmful physical contact between the human workers. And last but not least, most professional and personal service robots are equipped with collision detection and avoidance system, which allow them to prevent the harmful physical contact with human. It also can be used and operate in unstructured and unpredictable environment where there is humans present or even no human present. For example, firefighting robot can keep the firefighters safe from the extreme heat exposure and increase the ability to put out blaze more effectively in different settings. That's all for me.
Sorry for my interrupt. I think robot should not replace human labor because the robot cannot take reflect action in the workplace safety, such as disposing of the burnt product and extinguishing it immediately. For the example, for the big factory that have the robot imaging, if the robot does not take the reflect and immediate action, it will cause a large fire because it cannot dispose of the burnt product. So lastly, for the forums, thank you to the panel and audience. I appreciate you all being on our panel today. We have now come up with the conclusion of our forum where we have exchanged a great deal of knowledge that we did not even know or have previously considered. According to what the members of our panel just said, both have advantage and disadvantage, or for should or should not robot replace human labor. Therefore, the decision to take care of the future that will come to our grandchildren, I think robot should not replace this human job because our grandchildren in the future will get jobs to earn their own income so that they can continue living. So that's it for now. With gratitude to the entire panel and audience, I will finish our forum discussion. Assalamualaikum and thank you to all.